why are these selling for a premium to a resale property that's like right there? It's already built. You know what you've got. You know if there's problems. Like, why is there such a premium? That's one thing I actually genuinely don't understand.
Would you pay more for a new Mercedes or a used Mercedes?
I'd pay more for a new Mercedes, but I probably wouldn't buy one that is a brand new model because it doesn't have everything.
I know. I actually agree with you. That's sort of I 100% agree with you.
Your answer was pretty on point with that, though. I like that one.
Yeah,
it's so true. It's if it's brand spanking new, generally speaking, there's going to be a premium to it.
Yeah, and then also condos don't like. Yeah, I mean, you own 0.11% of the land or whatever, but condos are commodities more than their land value, and so. And so older buildings, maintenance fees increase over time. And so they actually lag the per square foot appreciation of newer buildings. Not to a massive degree if your building is well managed. And there are exceptions to the rule if you have a boutique in a perfect location and it's a really but generally speaking, a building in its first 10 years will keep up with the broader market's PSF appreciation, whereas in the decades following, it will start to trail off. The market does the condo market in Yorkville does 8% one year. Well, the 25-year-old building might only do 7% that year because it's older and a little rougher around the edges.
But you're right, though. I mean, the Mercedes example is awesome. And I think that, it depends on the demographic as well. It depends on the buyer. And, I know that when we bought our first home back in 1926, we bought a small place.
1926. You're not that old, Greg. Come on.
But you bought a small home, then you progressed accordingly. And I think that, the new buyer, do you think the new buyer today likes the shiny, new, fancy stuff?
Yeah.
As opposed to the 12-year-old building across the street?
100%.
Yeah, exactly. So do I.
And then, one big segment of pre-construction buyers that I haven't spoken about is downsizers. Like, it's huge in Toronto. And they're looking for something like downsizers are my favorite clients to work with. I have one right now that I've been working with since my first year in real estate, and we still haven't found them the right thing. Like they have such specific requests, right? I need 2,000 to 3,000 square feet overlooking the Humber River. I need 3,000 square foot with a terrace with a clear unobstructed lake view that's not too far walking distance from this place, right? So it's like these very and a lot of the time, what they're looking for actually does not exist resale.
Really?
Right?
So they're sitting there kind of just waiting and biding their time until it's available.
Yeah. Like a lot of the time it doesn't exist because there might be 18 resale units in Toronto that actually work for them if they become available on the resale market.
Mm-hmm.
But that's if they ever get listed, right? Whereas, like one example was a downsizer I sold to a Tridel project, Eden Bridge on the Kingsway. They were looking for something very specific, a terrace unit of a certain size with a certain layout. And we had been looking for 2 years on the resale market. We just could not find it. It just never listed. Nothing close ever became available. So for them, paying 10% more than the thing is worth, but getting exactly what they want.
Right.
Yeah.
Where they're going to spend the last 20, 30 years of their life or whatever, it's worth paying that premium.
Yeah.
Right.
No kidding.
I'd buy the new Mercedes. I would buy the new Mercedes.
Are you trying to say you're buying a new Mercedes, Dad?
No, buying a new 1-ton truck, though. So
okay. Right. Okay, good. There goes more of my inheritance.
No, you're right, though. I think that it's funny because, we have more of this, the baby boomers who are now, they wanted to stay in their homes and maybe they don't want anymore. And you're right, they absolutely need something specific. And I know, speaking from our own example, like we've talked about downsizing and moving to something that allows us a little bit less work around the yard and a bigger boat out front. So, there's lots of people out there that you're right, that are looking for something really specific and they don't mind paying the dollar for it.
Well, I think that cool when you look at something that's so specific too, I think there is a level of that where it's like, okay, I know what I want and I want to get it. And like you said, people are willing to pay a premium to get exactly what they want. I mean, I look at my first house definitely not what I wanted, exactly what I needed. But at a certain point, you flip that mentality, and it's no longer you don't get what you want, you get what you need. It's you get what you want.
Mhm.
And I think especially when you talk about downsizers and stuff, like if they are looking at this place saying, hey, this is the last place I'm going to live, why wouldn't you buy exactly what you want? And I think, even there with like, millennials who are starting to move from, their first place to their second place. We've seen a large increase in value in places like Toronto, Vancouver, stuff like that. They're probably willing to spend that premium to get exactly what they want versus, maybe what they need, shall we say.
Mm-hmm. And you can get creative, right? That's the fun thing. Once you move above a certain price point in pre-construction, developers are willing to sit down with you and their architect and make all the floor plan modifications and finish modifications that you want, right?
So and at that point, it's like custom for them too, right? Like it's not like it's not a cookie cutter spec house that every single house on the same street looks the exact same. It's like, no, this is mine because of X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm. Like you say, your downsize you've been working with for a long time is still waiting for that specific product. So being able to have the ability to go in there, and you're right, they don't mind paying the extra bucks for it at all.